under direct orders from Zaros. Indeed, your role in this is pivotal. Rejoice. The time for Zaros' return is at hand. Yes, Guthix's death was a tragedy, but it has allowed all other gods to return. There is one final obstacle preventing Zaros' return, however. Once more, I request your services in the name of my lord. You, and only you, are capable of removing this obstacle. While you may not always have displayed an unerring devotion to Zaros, you have always come through for us. All disagreements between us are in the past. Any doubts you may have will be answered today. We shall truly see if you stand with Zaros or against him. Do not be swayed by propaganda. Remember that history is written by the victors. I was there during the downfall of my lord's empire. I witnessed firsthand the butchery of those who despised and feared him. It was a power grab, plain and simple, but you need not take my word for it. Whatever you may think of Zaros, you owe him the chance to explain himself in person. All I ask is that you keep an open mind. Zaros awaits you through the World Gate. Will you at least meet with him? Excellent. Zaros will be most pleased to finally meet you. Yes, it is a portal between realms, created by Guthix many millennia ago. While there are many portals that allow for travel from plane to plane, only the World Gate has the power to reach every plane in existence. Though at present it can only reach worlds that either Guthix or Zaros visited with it. To reach Zaros by any other means would require more power and time than is available to us. It is right here, hidden in the Shadow Realm, away from prying eye. We require the aid of another for this task. I think you know all too well. I was unsure of this, but Zaros was clear.
Speak of the Majorat, and he shall appear.
Wait, allow Freneskae to fulfill his orders first.
Under orders, am I? Maybe I want to be here.
Freneskae is the only one of us capable of drawing the gate back into the material realm. I am not happy that we need him, but need him we do. Play your part, Freneskae, and then go about your business.
No, Azzy. I think I might stick around for a little while. It might help if you could first see the World Gate. I'll have to pull you into the Shadow Realm for this. The sooner you can kill me. Now, let's not rush into things here. I have a proposition for you. What can I say? I am who I am. At least I'm consistent. Oh, he can't hear. This is for your ears only. My mastery of the Shadow Realm has grown, even since our meeting in Guthix's shrine. You don't have any real allegiance, so you have no investment here. I'm just offering you an alternative. Azanadra is too devoted to see Zaros' flaws. You are not so blinkered. Of all the gods, I like Zaros most. He just gets me, you know. He helped to make the world my playground. But he's been gone a long time, and we're all getting on just fine without him. We don't need him. We don't need any gods. This isn't about me. Loyalty goes both ways. I see the truth, unlike pious Azanadra over there. Oh, I still follow orders like a good little Majorat, but I've always taken them more as guidelines. I like to be creative. That was more my interpretation. Zaros wanted to return, but I saw futility in bargaining with Gothics. I suspect Zaros knew that, but he's not exactly forthcoming. Zaros needed a diversion, so I gave him one. While the other gods are busy with their infighting, Zaros could return unchallenged, and none will be the wiser. After a fashion. What can I say? I'm complicated. And this time you don't have to. Through that gate you're on your own. Neither I nor Azanadra can follow you. Ask Azanadra if you don't believe me. I'm not fool enough to so openly disobey Zaros' orders. It will be just you and Zaros. You can see for yourself what he's like and make up your own mind. All I'm suggesting is that you don't have to do what is asked of you. You always have a choice. If you don't like what you see, then as World Guardian, there's something you can do about it. The point is that ultimately, his fate is in your hands, and that, to me, is such sweet irony. It's what I live for. Zaros doesn't just want your help, he needs it. He hasn't said why exactly, but you are the key ingredient. That puts him at your mercy. Whatever he wants of you, you have a choice to make. As World Guardian, even he cannot force you. The decision will be yours. Whatever you might think of me doesn't come into it. If you like Zaros, then by all means help him. But if you're opposed to him, now is your best opportunity to get rid of him for good, or at least weaken him further. Go and meet Zaros. Make your choice. If you just walk away, this decision could fall to someone else. I am glad you agree. But note that Zaros is no fool. He will most likely know if you do this. Have courage in your convictions. That's enough prattling. Let's get this gate working again. The gate is currently locked. Until the lock is removed, the gate can't be used. It's a simple combination lock, really. One turn right, one turn left, one turn right. You just need to know the correct symbols to turn to. Well, go on then. I'm waiting. Honestly, adventurers these days, where's your work ethic? The joy of figuring things out for yourself. Oh, fine. I'm bored with waiting. Here. There, the combination, on the pillar next to me. Never let it be said that I don't give you anything. That certainly took you long enough. Come closer and I'll explain what comes next. Now we bring the World Gate back with us into the material realm.
What was the delay?
Oh, calm down, Azzy. Zaros has waited for millennia. A few more hours won't kill him.
You were in the Shadow Realm with Freneskae for quite some time. I hope he wasn't filling your head with his nonsense. I do not trust him. And I'm unsure of your true motivations, but you have been a friend when it has counted, and Zaros has faith in you. Did Freneskae say anything to you while you were in the Shadow Realm? Freneskae, does your deceitful tongue know no bounds? Zaros shall hear of this.
I was under no illusions that he wouldn't. He'll understand. But what happens through that gate rests in the hands of our little world guardian here.
True enough, and the fact that she told me of your ploy increases my belief in her. I've taken the liberty of setting the gate to where you'll be going. In fact, it is the only place it will take you until Zaros is returned. Once on the other side, everything is up to you. I am under orders to remain here, and I will ensure that Freneskae never leaves my sight.
Oh, don't mind me. I have no plans to interfere.
Step through when you are ready, World Guardian.
She is my creator. I both love and loathe her. A being of such immense primordial power that she can create life with but a thought. Yet she herself is a studied child. How could such a being come to me? It frustrates me that Ma has such gifts and yet wastes them, creating what one might consider a nuisance. Such wasted potential. But then, she did also create me. Though I am unique, there was one other created at the same time as I, the light to my darkness. I find it beautiful, and the attraction is mutual. Whereas I am analytical, my companion is empathetic. We are opposites, but we are also the same. I know not our Creator's purpose, but it is good to not be alone. Our Creator slumbers for longer each day. This world can scarcely nourish me. Its anima low and diminishing. I sense other worlds nearby. She has not the strength to reach them, but I have. I wish to explore and discover. I hunger to learn. My Creator has no knowledge to pass on, no memory from before her birth. My companion intends to remain behind to tend and comfort her, believing that we are indebted to her for our existence. I feel no such need. I shall leave and forge my own path. I have walked upon 100 proto-worlds, half-built and faded, the early works of Mars' elder sisters. But here, for the first time, I have stepped onto a plane that, although raw and imperfect, teems with conscious life. They have order and architecture, society and bureaucracy. It is a machine with so many moving parts, and yet, against all odds, it works. From the Chthonian dukes to the Avernic slaves, each individual a cog in the machine. Even the ousted infernals have a part to play. They also have something called language, an alien concept, but one I find most fascinating. They name themselves demons. I shall make myself known to them. Their first encounter with divinity. And then, I shall use their love of language to bind them to me. I shall give this great machine a purpose. I continue my exploration of the lower planes of the universe. This time, of a world named Valkyrie. The dominant species is predatory and instinctual, though not lacking in awareness. They roam the surface and skies in small packs, competing for prey. It is wasteful, both of these predators and their prey. They can be put to better use. I intend to experiment, to teach them of society, of culture, unify. They could perhaps cease their infighting and become greater than the beasts they are. Upon reaching the edge of the lower plains, 4 paths opened. Each path laid by one of Mars' sisters. It appears that, lacking my Creator's knowledge, each of her sisters has separated to build their own worlds. Perhaps in an effort to learn what they had lost in the absence of God. These I call the elemental planes, and they overflow with diversity. It is upon these elemental worlds that I have first encountered creatures who refer to themselves as gods. They have some semblance of divinity, but unlike me, they are not of truly divine quality. I am intrigued as to how such limited beings have overcome their inherent weaknesses, for they appear to have derived from among the mortal races. Indeed, many races from these planes follow the dogma of these self-proclaimed gods, and I am unable to swallow mine. As such, I have been spurred on to the higher realms, where the elder gods' paths reconvene into worlds with more balance. I have explored from one end of the universe to the other, and at its furthest point discovered a perfect world. The final work of the Elders. Many of the races I encountered on my journey have flocked to this perfect world, led by their deities. But this world does not belong to them. They carve out territories and scar the land with their petty skirmishes. They must be taught obedience. As a child of the Creators, I feel it is my duty to bring these young gods to heel. My ability to enforce loyalty does not compel ascendant beings, only the lower mortals and my old companion. I will have to resort to basic methods. To this end, I have brought my own lower races to this world. If the young gods will not heed my words or recognize my divinity, then they will be made to listen. My empire's progress has stalled. I expected little resistance from the forests to the south. Yet from them sprang forth a race even my demonic legions fear. The legates refer to them as stern judges, but I have learned their true name. Majorat, the children of Ma. Could they really be so? After my departure, could she have created more toys? They are but a fraction of myself and my old companion, yet I feel a connection with them. A shared ancestor. They are my younger siblings. Surely this is serendipity. Or fate, should such a thing exist. I intend to take them under my wing. Within the Empire they will rule as princes, and they shall be its inheritors. Until such a time, they shall be my enemies. The lower planes once more bear fruit. One race, the Illuyanka, has joined my empire on proviso that I solve their infertility. This seems like a problem worth solving. I am only capable of reshaping existing forms of life. To solve an issue of creation will require something more. To this end, I have returned to the place of my birth. With Freneskae's failing anima, Ma has slipped into a coma. She manifests nightmare creatures from which I am able to harvest her elder energy. I have pushed the limits of my own abilities, reforming the essence of other races into new beings. But to give them life required Ma's energy. As such, they are a failure, only proving what I am incapable of. Strictly, they should be named Zaros, but I have dubbed them Nihils, for they are nothing to me. Much like the Majora, they have the ability to absorb the essence of their brethren. One of these Nihils originally Shadow, has fast outgrown the rest. I have chosen to uplift her. To do so, I had to implant a small sliver of my being. The irony of this is not lost on me. I am not proud of this, but to leave her as she was would have seen the other Nihil destroyed. With her newfound awareness, she has named herself Nex in the old infernal tower. Her speed and capacity for learning are astounding. Although Nex will prove useful in bringing unity to the world, this entire experiment has only gone to prove my unworthiness. I myself must take a new path and find a way to transcend to elder godhood. For only then will I be able to aid the Yin-Yang to create life from nothing. stirs in her sleep. She is the elder god Ma, and her dreams can be violent. We should talk elsewhere, shall we? This is the threshold of your mind. This is the threshold of your mind. Have no fear, Lord Guardian. I would not enter your mind without consent. Nor could I. This is the threshold of your mind. Have no fear, Lord Guardian. I would not enter your mind without consent, nor could I. I have only brought you here. I am outside, looking in. We needed a safe place to talk where she could not sense me. That is all. Yes. And when you wake, we will have to deal with Ma. You have doubts. Know this. I will never lie to you. And in this place, you would sense if I did. But there are some truths for which you are not yet ready. All will be revealed in time. The power Gothic bestowed upon you before his death dampens divine magic and energy. It is my belief this power will also shield my presence from harm. If she were to sense me and fully awake, that would be bad for everyone. Beneath her, at the planet's core, I will be able to create a new corporeal form for myself. I wish for you to take me there, or to go there in my stead. So, we should learn of one another. Whatever your questions, I would answer. I did not become. I have always been. I was created this way. By Ma. She is an elder god, the youngest of 5. The elder gods are ancient primordial beings, the creators of this universe. Ma's power is rooted in potential, in darkness and in light. I am a divine aspect of dark energy. I came into being atop this volcano on which we currently reside. Ma was left here by the other elder gods. They believed her still did, but she survived, and eventually clawed her way out to the volcano's crater. Her sisters gone, she was alone, and poured what little energy she had into creating me. I was born in the infancy of this universe. Eons. To my knowledge, only the elder gods are older. All beings are unique, but I understand your meaning. There is one other akin to I. The divine aspect of light energy. I shall not speak of it here, but I sense you have an inkling of whom I speak. I left here solely to get away from Ma. She is cruel and possessive. I had to be free of her. I traveled the universe, met many mortal races, and both learned and taught a great many things. The exploration and discovery was enough to begin with. But I came to need a purpose. I have seen the entire span of creation, the progression of the Elder Gods, and knew immediately upon my arrival that Gillenor was special. It was there that I found my purpose. In order to achieve my goals, I must return there, and with a corporeal form. All gods rally followers to them, whether they mean to or not. Mortals cannot help themselves. Some gods take advantage of this. In my youth, I was guilty of this. When I arrived, there were many young gods carving out territories, engaged in petty skirmishes and border disputes. I sought to unify them under my banner, but they resisted. But those under my charge were uplifted. My empire led to a great many advancements. Industry, medicine, technology, magically discovered. It is true that many died in the name of progress. But many times more prospered humans, demons, and vampires alike. More died in its destruction at the behest of Saradomin and Zamorak than ever in its creation. I do not know what you have heard, but the only two beings present were myself and Zamorak. Anything else you have heard is either lies, rumor, or speculation, and it is not something I care to discuss. Not even the Elder Gods know or seal. If that were the case, I would never have been able to leave this place. Ma would not have allowed it. So, no. I did not anticipate for Zamorak's ascension, nor did I engineer it. Equally, I do not begrudge it. He taught me a valuable lesson that day. He taught me of betrayal. Sometimes, simply being the largest target is enough to become vilified. But it is also because I sought unification. I wanted to bring all the young gods under one banner. But they would not recognize my divinity. I would have welcomed them all. But they were blinkered by their own narrow, dogmatic views. And so they rejected me. I did not start wars. I was just better at them. And through war, I started to make progress. Zamorak feared retribution from those remnants of my empire who remained loyal to me. Saradomin sought my secrets. Whether to steal them or bury them, I cannot say. Ultimately, it is not important. The empire failed, and is no more. To build another would be folly. Mortals cannot be united by will or by force alone. Even if they could be, doing so would take more time than we have. I will get to that in due course. This is not crucial information. There will be a time to discuss this later, should you wish. Without her, I would not exist. But she is like a child. As such, she was unable to teach me much of anything. What I have learned, I have discovered since I left. She is an elder god, the youngest of 5. Yet the anima of this plane was not sufficient to nourish them all. And Ma was malformed. She was born without memory or... You have questions. This is not crucial. Without, as such, she is an elder god. She was born without memory or knowledge, only instinct. After finally clawing her way to the surface, her first instinct was to pour what little energy she had into the creation of me and my companion. That would likely be an affront to the other elder gods. To her, I was akin to a child's doll. She is mentally fractured, but I have intellect. I could not abide her possessiveness. As soon as she started to weaken, I left. It seems that our presence has stirred Ma. When you awake, we will have to deal with the consequences. He was like a myth, spoken of in hushed tones by those of his followers who had not allied with other gods. I would very much have liked to have met him. We shared some ideals. We both value mortal life enough to step aside. Though, where he would leave them to their own devices and their own failures, I would guide them subtly towards their true destinies. I would not impose my beliefs on mortals as other gods do, nor force them into worship of me. My aim is to be the voice that drives them to greatness. Not all would heed the call, but not all have to. I have nothing to say about Zaros. Ah, yes. As we discuss certain topics, you will be seeing manifestations drawn from my memories. Yes. This is how she looked when last I saw her. No more questions of Sarah. He was once my most trusted general. I never had cause to doubt his loyalty, right up until the point that he betrayed me. I do not know what led him to it. In some ways he epitomizes what I advocate. He has a strong will and has overcome his limitations, but he did so at my own expense. Revenge would serve no purpose, but even if it would, I would have no time to enact it. There are more pressing matters that require my attention. He is self-righteous, seeing things only in extremes. It was from him that I first learned of the notions of good and evil. I dismiss such notions. There are only actions and consequences. We agreed to disagree. Everything to him is either black or white. But he himself exists in the grey. Ergo, he is a contradiction. Yet many have prospered under his rule, most notably your species. So, there is some merit in what he espouses. And he has become the most powerful young god in the wake of Gothix's end. He would make for a good envoy, if only he would widen his world view a little. When I knew him, he was idealistic and naive. but his intentions were always pure. There is value in that. Azanadra has told me of the tragic loss Armadale suffered during the God Wars. If he had given in to his despair, I would have no interest in him. But his recent victory over Bandas suggests this event has forged him. I shall watch his progress intently. He had a brilliant strategic mind, and an innate ability to expose the truth in any situation. If only he could have curtailed his eternal desire for war, he might have proven useful. I have more interest in the one who defeated him, and in those who will succeed him. The god may die, but the philosophy is eternal. In time, another will grow to take his place, be they a god or not. As Zamorak taught me of betrayal, Azanadra has taught me of loyalty. He had no reason to remain so after my banishment, and yet he has. In my empire, he stood at the head of the church. He has also since proven himself a worthy general, and he has kept the faith for all these centuries when so many others chose to forget me. He is loyal, devout, intelligent, strong, and honorable. He has power, but does not misuse it. He embodies all of the traits that I hold dear. Finally, he has brought you to my attention. You who find yourself at the center of all things. Sliski's loyalty has only ever been to himself. When our goals align, he can prove useful. But his recent exploits are not something I can condone. I cannot stand as both judge and executioner. I leave it to those he has wronged to bring him to any justice they feel he deserves. I did not. I am glad. Sliski's loyalty. I cannot. I did not. I am glad. They did not exist when I left this place. But when I first encountered them, I knew instantly that we shared kindred. Their name means the children of Ma. Their crystals mark their divine origin. They were unmistakably relations. I saw them as younger siblings and sought to protect them. Divine creations are more fragile than you realize. Their race is the epitome of potential, but their fate is also sealed. Had he known what he was truly dealing with, Ixvaran may never have brought them to Gillinor. He tried to rein in their nature, and it was not long before one of their number broke free. It was easy for me to convince that breakaway of my superiority. Freneskae. Not all Marjarat chose to leave Ixvaran's service, but the few that remained did not last long. So, in a desperate final act, the desert god Churakin devastated his own lands to discourage me. I was given dwarves and ended my campaign. I realized that I had become what I was fighting against. From that point on, I slowly started to remove my presence from the Empire. I provided the Majorat with the means to rejuvenate themselves on Gillinor. Something of which Ixvaran was incapable, for he did not understand them. and I encourage them to be less wasteful with their rituals. If they were to become leaders in the Empire, they had to endure. They are an intriguing race, but we will need to deal with them if we are to rouse the Elder Gods. I suspect their home plane was destroyed soon after the Elder Gods first left Freneskae. A small number of Dragonkin survived this revision, taking shelter in the Abyss, among the detritus of previous cycles. This is a truth best revealed slowly. You will come to it in time. I believe the surviving Dragonkin sought out justice or mercy, or retribution, only to end up bound to her catalyst. For the Elder Gods to hear the pleas of mortals will require someone to bridge the gap. Only a being of divine origin, such as I, has a hope of communicating. Next is an almost perfect creation, but even she has limitations. She is unfailingly loyal. She can be no other way. It was the act of her creation that steered me on the path towards Elder Godhood. The young gods fear her, not because of her strength, but because of how she came into being, what she represents. Not exactly. The Nihil only came into being due to Mars' own energy. The creation of life is beyond me. Because of this, to me, the Nihil were a failure. Save for one who stood apart from the pack. I gave her consciousness, and she became next. One success from so much failure. I was fascinated by the Muspah race, and by Char especially. She was reminiscent of one I used to know. I drew great comfort from her. I am very pleased to have discovered that Zamorak did not kill her. I will welcome her in my presence once more. Such a noble race. I am ashamed to say I failed her. I sought to overcome the race's infertility, but Zamorak deposed me before I could find a solution. But I am only able to alter existing forms of life. As an elder god, the solution would be trivial. Call them by their true name, Iluyanka. Their memory deserves respect. Demons were the first conscious life I encountered after leaving Freneskae. I was fascinated by their culture, language, government, and beliefs. I took the infernal tongue for my own, having had no need of speech before. And I used that language to seal them in a pact of servitude. Do not judge demonkind by those who have experience. You will have only met the embittered Avernic slaves Zamorak led in an uprising after my banishment. My pact was with their Chthonian masters. Their forms were a seemingly random array of appendages, but they had one unifying trait: the ability to absorb knowledge from that which they ate. Ergo, within the strictures of demonic law, cannibalism was outlawed. Telling me, the punishment for many crimes was to be eaten. Thus, those in power grew ever more knowledgeable, and fast. I can sense your unease, that I would ally myself with such beings. But you should understand that they were not monsters. They were vastly intelligent, their pursuits cultural and artistic. Their value was in the militaristic Avernic forces they marshaled, and they rarely involved themselves directly in combat. Even though they were immensely difficult to kill, their numbers dwindled over the course of my empire. It is possible that some still survive to this day, buried in the deep places of the world. I once had a pet Vidius named Ocellus. He and his brother, Oriculus, stood vigil beside my throne, even when it sat empty. Virii are Chthonian pack animals, akin to Avernic hellhounds, or your dogs. I was initially less convinced by the vampires, but being only the second race I encountered, I had little to compare them to. At first, they were nothing more than predatory beasts, but I applied what I had learned from the demons and gave them a society. As with any burgeoning society, there was bloodshed and civil war, but eventually an aristocracy rose up that persists to this day. Even vampires have the potential for good or ill, but their thirst is ever present and often overcomes their will. I was not aware I was making a choice. These were just the first races I encountered. These races originate from the lower planes, these being the earliest creations of the elder gods, and which are nearest to Freneskae. I would have gladly accepted all mortal species under my banner, but by the time I reached the higher planes, those races had adopted the doctrines of other gods. Even though they have moved beyond their race's limitations, to me, they are still only very powerful mortals. I sought to bring them under one banner, or I saw it as my divine right. Since then, I have had much time to consider my failures. I was acting no better than Ma, attempting to control mortals. I see my role now being to lead mortals, the young gods included, towards uplifting themselves, and to work with those powerful few who have stepped beyond the need for guidance. I see this in you. JAGEX saw this in you too, at the end, but his inaction has cost us dearly. Yes. Given our hides a truth the likes of which even JAGEX was not aware. If he had known, he would have done more than sleep. Freneskae holds the clues. You will see them with your own eyes soon enough. The elder gods do not purposely create conscious life. Only plants and simple organisms. These things generate anima. Yet, conscious life has sprung up on countless imperfect worlds, on which the anima was in some way unbalanced. My belief is that beings with awareness are capable of generating more anima than the elder gods realize. Ma is proof that the elder gods are more fragile than you might think. And with them numbering only 5, they are on the brink of extinction. Counter to that, mortal life is both abundant and diverse. It is my view that mortals should inherit all of creation from the elder gods. I do not understand the question. Do not confuse darkness and light with evil and good. Real life does not deal in absolutes, nor extremes. All life falls on a spectrum, and all life has capacity for both good and evil. Judge me only by my actions and my words, not by the words of others. I have made mistakes, but I do what I do because it must be done, because there is no other who would, no other that could. It is my belief that everything that occurs in life, both good and bad, should be used to forge oneself, to better oneself. If we give in to weakness, then we do not deserve the gift of life. Where JAGEX sought balance in the world, I seek balance in oneself. One must strive to increase in power, but also in knowledge of how to wield that power. The younger gods have tended to fulfill only one of these things. You, World Guardian, fulfill both of these criteria. First, I must obtain a new body and regain my divine status. With it, I shall return to my ultimate ambition. I intend to claim my birthright and become an elder god. Only then will I be able to stand equal to the universe's creators and speak on behalf of mortals. Once I return, I shall wake the elder gods. I will speak for all mortals, and the elder gods will listen. If not me, then who? They are where they have always been, since the creation of Gillidan, on Gillidan. First, I need you to make your way below Mar to the planet's core. Once there, I require you to gather some of her divine energy and use it to weave me a new body. I hope to call on you. There is much to be done if we are to succeed. I will not ask anything of you that compromises your beliefs, or conflicts with your status as World Guardian. Until then, do as you would always do. Choose your path. Follow whatever philosophy or god you desire. I do not require your fealty, though I welcome it, should you wish to give it. I only require your support when you are called upon, for the benefit of all. All else matters not in the face of the Great Revision. All in due time. Allow me to recap the two crucial pieces of information you require for what comes next. First, that I am a creation of the elder god Mar. She is the being lying comatose within this volcano's crater. And second, that I require some of Mar's elder energy to be woven into a new corporeal form for me to inhabit. This new body must be a dark simulacrum. A light simulacrum will reject my essence. Enough talk, my guardian. Though Mar only stirs in her sleep, her nightmares will manifest and attack on sight, and her cries of pain will cripple you. You need only survive until her terrors subside. Only then will it be safe for us to proceed. But first, you must choose whether or not to allow me in. If you allow me in, I can lend you my strength to survive Mar's onslaught. I will not go beyond what you permit, and will leave once she is quelled, or, should you ask it of me, do not let me in, and I cannot help it. You put both our lives in jeopardy, and above that risk the fate of the very universe. Make your choice. We are out of time. Let us proceed. Masters, let us proceed. Returns to her slumber. You were lucky to survive. Were you anyone but the World Guardian, your essence would now be scattered across Freneskae. We should act quickly, while we have this respite. You must climb down into the volcano's crater, below Mars, and venture towards the planet's core. The entrance is by a place I refer to as the Elder Halls. Within it you should find some of Mars' leaked divine essence. Gather it as you would any other divine energy. Mars is weak, so it may be difficult to find. There is a tool within the halls to aid you. What little elder energy I have been able to harvest from Muspah has only been enough to coalesce and sustain this form. You'll require only enough to weave a divine simulacrum, an effigy of sorts. This new body must be a dark simulacrum. A light simulacrum will reject my essence. Once you have this simulacrum, return here with it, and I can shape it further to generate my new form. I would come with you, if you allow me back in. I can provide further instruction as you require it. Let us proceed. There, planted in the ground before you. That tool's pulses should help you locate Mars energy. Perfect. That is exactly what I require. Return us to the peak. The next step must be done on the spot of my creation. over the divine simulacrum yet? Yes. This is exactly what I need to return to full strength. You have done well, World Guardian. I am in your debt. Please, place it on the ground in front of me when you are ready.
She's waking. We have to leave. I need your permission. We're going now.
Ma awakes. Not yet. You have granted me new life. Before we return, I would acknowledge that. Time enough. I am pleased to hear that. You may come to learn something about me, that I compel loyalty within others, forcibly. It is not something I have control of. It is something that was done to me by Ma. I am unable to rid myself of this ability, but I must live with it. Do not be concerned. It does not affect you, World Guardian. Yes. It is one of the reasons I chose to withdraw from my own empire. I find the idea of coercing another mind to be distasteful. But it only affects those in my presence, and the effect dissipates with time. This is how I know that those still loyal to me are truly loyal. They have not been under its effects for many centuries, yet still heed my call. I wished for you to know this from me, so that you could understand it. Indeed. Let us leave before she finds us. Lead on through the gate. I will follow. I wish to address my loyal followers upon my return.
I can almost sense Zaros' presence. Is he close? Nex and Char will arrive as he does. There is time for more questions if you wish, or are you ready for Zaros to return? My lord, you are returned. You are exactly as I remember.
We have the World Guardian to thank for that.
You have my eternal gratitude. This cannot go unrewarded.
I shall reward her in due course.
My lord, there is something you should know.
I already do. Freneskae?
I am yours to command. Just say the word.
No more.
What did you say?
No more.
But no, I am loyal. Have I not always been loyal? Have I not done everything you've always asked of me? As the Empire fell, did I not keep safe those things necessary for your return? Was I not pivotal in the liberation of all those who stand before? Did I not kill a god for you? You cannot turn me away! Not now, Zaros, please!
Freneskae, stop.
Very well. I guess I'm not quite the actor I thought. What gave me away?
You betray yourself. Though, in truth, and your words of betrayal to the World Guardian cannot be ignored.
Betrayal? They could have just walked away, left you to rot. I was just convincing them to hear you out. It was down to you to convince them of your worth.
Whatever your intent, no longer can I turn a blind eye to your disobedience, nor condone your methods.
Are you sure it's not just because me killing Gothics puts me beyond your control? Fine. Don't answer. So, what's next? An intervention? Family counseling? Maybe some trust exercises?
Excommunication. You will have no further association with us. You are...
Oh, I've always been alone. But I guess this means you'll have to find someone else to do your dirty work. Your new World Guardian pet, perhaps.
Leave us. Never return.
As you command, my lord. But don't think this is over, World Guardian. I'm just getting started with you. Where I'm concerned, Zaros' protection of you no longer applies. Between you and me, all bets are off. Be seeing you.
You are important. You must be kept safe.
Ever since you helped me to restore our connection to him.
Cha, keep an eye on Freneskae. It gives me pause that he holds both the siphon and the catalyst. I do not want him thinking he can follow in Zamorak's footsteps. He is angry, and may attempt something rash. Inform me if he leads you to the location of either artifact. None of the young gods should have free access to such tools. Especially the catalyst. The Dragon King cannot grow too strong before we are placed to deal with them.
As you command. I'm heartened to see you returned.
Next, I task you with keeping Freneskae's little game in check. Watch the young gods. Try to contain their destruction as much as possible, but do not get drawn into open conflict. There may come a time that I need you to step in to ensure nothing interferes with my plans. And as circumstances allow, continue harrying the other gods' forces without your prison of ice.
At once, my lord.
And to Azanadra, my most loyal servant. Together, we must prepare to rouse the Elder Gods. Zamorak's desperation at the end of the last God War scarred this planet's anima mundi, but even that was not enough to wake them. Only Gothics.
You wish to create a greater level of destruction?
Not greater, more targeted. I require you to seek out Gileno's own Elder Halls. If disturbed, the Elder Gods will have no choice but to respond.
It will be done, my lord.
Finally, to you, World Guardian. This was my realization when I last returned here. If we do nothing, then what sits within them shall bring about the destruction of this world, this universe. But save your questions for another time. Do you have anything to say for yourself? I'm glad you came to this conclusion. But this is just the beginning. There is much work ahead of us. You will save us all, regardless of your intentions or the outcome. It would be remiss of me not to reward you. I am reinvigorated, and I am back where I am needed. Our task has urgency, but I am confident in those who stand at my side. Together, we can change all our fates. You should have this. You will find many uses for it. Primarily, if you use this in my sanctum on Freneskae, it will allow us to commune at any time. If you remain unconvinced by my philosophy, then my hope is that this will help to remedy that. When carried, it will mark you as my envoy. Those loyal to me will treat you with respect, and those opposed will be fearful of you. And though it may be dangerous, especially now Mara has reawakened, you may wish to revisit Freneskae. I am certain you will find moral value there. Now has come the time for us to part, World Guardian. Reflect on all you have witnessed this day. Gillenor's reckoning is coming, but there is still time for us to avert it. Until I call on you again, do as you otherwise would, had we not met. Pax Tecum.